Welcome back. It is Dev Diary 59. Today we're going to be talking about something that has been requested by the community at large for quite some time and then some. Today we're going to be talking about Megastructures. We're talking about things like Dyson Spheres, things like Ringworlds, massive complexes designed for research and science, as well as being able to see the entire galaxy as a whole. Let's get underway with this one and see what this particular item for today is going to be like. Now, quick disclaimer, all the items that we're going to be covering here today are part of the Utopia expansion, and as such, will be a paid feature. It will be coming in Utopia, so not in 1.5 banks, even though the name is pretty appropriate for this type of structure, to say the least. Let's get underway. Megastructures, paid features. Have you ever taken a look at a fallen empire in Ringworld and thought by yourself, I want one of those? Well, rather than having to conquer one right now, you can, in the game, at least in Utopia, actually build one of your own and actually completely trump the concept of the Ringworld by building yourself a Dyson Sphere. Now, the other items that we actually are going to be covering are also the sensor array and the science nexus, in addition to the Ringworld and the Dyson Sphere, but we'll get to that very shortly. In order to build a megastructure, as the buildings are called, you will need to unlock a number of advanced technologies and pick the appropriate ascension perks. Now, these ascension perks are going to be the Circle of Life, which is the Ringworld ascension perk. Whether or not this is going to be part of the Void-born Ascension line is a whole different question, but we will see whether or not that is going to be the case. And there is the Galactic Wonders Ascension perk. Megastructures are rightfully regarded as wonders of our time, and considering the size of these things, as well as their structure and how long things live in space, also for many eons to come. The thing is this is pretty crazy. One thing that we kind of need to address right off the bat is that it's not really a Dyson Sphere that we're looking at here. We're looking something along the lines of a truncated isosahedron, which is what some people on the forums and Reddit have already been referring to. It's not a perfect sphere. I am going to guess from gameplay point of view that it's not a perfect sphere due to the fact that it looks baller. Let's be quite honest about this, but also it's easier to notice. Obviously, it's a giant ball in space, and making it different from planets and stars is definitely useful, to say the least. Then, let's take a look here. A Dyson Sphere. It can only be built around a star in your borders and provides a huge amount of energy each month. I would like to point out, by the way, I'm going to link this in the description as well. There's already a thread on the Stellaris subforums, or at least subreddit, where somebody has done the math on how many credits this would be. Realistically, it would be 49 million energy credits per second, according to his math, or basically 174 septillion joules of energy. And considering, due to the way the game is set up, one energy credit is the equivalent of 3.52 quintillion joules. Well, you can do the math based on that. Obviously, it will most likely be a lot less. I'm going to guess something along 500 energy credits, maybe 1,000. We'll see how that pans out, but we'll see. They cannot be built around black holes, pulsars, or neutron stars. Makes perfect sense. Neutron stars and pulsars, they would annihilate them pretty quickly. Pulsars, of course, with their massive bursts of energy at their poles, and the neutron stars because they're super heavy in gravity and they'd be tiny and not enough energy will be coming out. Black holes, do I really need to explain that one? Well, exactly. Then we will be able to build Ringworlds. You can only be built around a planet-rich star in your borders. Once finished, provides a maximum size 100%. 4 maximum size 100% habitable planets. So basically, I think it's the maximum size is 25, so you'll get 100 additional habitability tiles added to your empire. The one thing that I don't know, and it's not really discussed anywhere, whether or not you can build the structures from the Fallen Empires on them as well. There are a couple of Fallen Empire specific Ringworld buildings that are kind of crazy in their energy and resource output that are currently not available. And you can't build them. If you lose them, they're gone forever. You can repair them, however, but yeah, it's not really clear whether or not that's going to be the case. Dyson Sphere, we already covered this. Yeah, and then there is the other two, which cannot be forgotten about, but they're still pretty awesome in the way they are described. I'm going to guess that comparatively to the Dyson Sphere and the Ringworld, they'll be able to be built a little bit earlier, especially the Science Nexus, which can be built around non-habitable, non-moon, non-asteroid planets, similar to habitats that provide a huge amount of science each month. With the amount increasing for each stage of the Science Nexus completed. So you'll be able to build it in several stages, most likely similar to the way you build spaceports currently, where you have to add additional modules to your Science Nexus. Now, why am I saying that this is probably more of a mid-game item? Is because once you get to the very late game, the amount of science that you generate doesn't really matter anymore, and once you finish the tech tree, all you have to do is reoccurring sciences to increase certain modifiers for your empire. So whether or not that is going to be impactful is a whole different question. It's also not specified whether or not this is going to be added to the modifier when it comes to populated planets or habitability or population malices when it comes to science. So that's not clarified here at all. So it's pretty much up in the air to see how that is going to go. Then there is the Sentry Array. The Sentry Array has already been dubbed the lag array by some people, mainly because of what it does. The Sentry Array can be built around a non-inhabitable, non-moon, non-asteroid planet, similar to habitats, and function as a sensor array, providing sensor range in a radius that grows as each stage of the sensor array is completed. Once fully finished, it will give you complete sensor view of the entire galaxy, so you'll be able to see everything. There's a small problem with that. If you can see everything, that means it needs to render everything, and it needs to keep track of everything, which may impact some systems that are not particularly high-end. So unless they optimize the engine significantly, I'm kind of worried that this particular building is going to cause significant issues with performance on some users' end. Quickly tallying back to the Dyson Sphere, it will cool down the system, turning most planets into frozen worlds, and the Ringworld will consume all planets in the system. It's actually not specified whether the Dyson Sphere will consume all planets in the system. It does say something along the lines of turning most planets into frozen worlds due to the lack of stellar output that is on that one. Building a megastructure is hardly a subtle affair. It takes a long time to do. It's very difficult to do, apparently. It does take some pretty advanced technology, and it will also impact the political and diplomatic field in your galaxy. What this is going to mean is a whole different question. It could maybe devalue energy credits, who knows. But yeah, so we'll see what is going to be with that. Also, much like Ringworlds already in the game, you are not the first civilization to conceive of the idea of megastructures, and you may encounter ancient, ruined megastructures while exploring. It's not specified if there is going to be any megastructures, xeno-megastructures that are not anything like these four that we've described in this particular Dev Diary. So we may actually run into some megastructures that are very different from what we have right here. I would go so far as to say that the Enigmatic Fortress can be specified as a megastructure, but that is conjecture at this point. So we'll see whether or not we're going to see more of these things, of these megastructures. In terms of the Utopia expansion, not everything has been announced just yet. Apparently there's more to come. I'm actually still hoping that we're going to see an alliance base, or at least a Federation capital station that we can slowly build up over time. So we'll see whether or not that is going to be the case or not. I'm starting to become a little bit worried that that's not going to be the case, but we shall see. Also, considering in Dev Diary 58, I was talking about, my guess was Dyson Spheres when it comes to something huge, and that means I called it, which means, well, I am now officially a Oracle of space. Until next time, take good care of yourselves. and each other.